Welcome to Second Take, the show that focuses on the issues behind the news. My name's editor Martin Creamer joins me today to unpack the latest in the mining industry. Welcome, Martin.
Hi, Sashni.
Now, Shallow Reefs Gold is preparing to announce a significant capital raise out of North America. Can you tell us about that?
I'm so happy about this. You know, we've got this very rich Witwatersrand gold basin. And for so long, we've been saying, can't we get more out of this? And of course, the big majors, you know, they've got high cutoffs. So they want to have many, many millions of ounces of gold in the ore body. So they look at it from a big company's point of view. But now Shallow Reefs Gold has come in and is looking at it like the rest of the world looks at gold, but South Africa hasn't. You know, the rest of the world, you saw in Nevada the other day, even when they find 400,000 ounces, they list on a stock exchange and they start getting those ounces out. We haven't had that mentality, but at last we've got Mark Gilbert, you know, of NSDV, the law firm. He has studied this up very well. He's got consultants in, and they have a number of possible projects, but they've selected 5 now to really focus on. And some of these 5 are very likely to go ahead. You know, wonderfully, they've got all the regulatory hurdles out of the way. You know, they've got their mining licenses, water licenses, even prospecting licenses. And amazingly, the little bit of prospecting they've done, they've already found a new mineralization that the old timers overlooked for some reason. So, you know, you could suddenly find a new reef there, and it's just something that we've got to go ahead with. And it's so good, you know, that Shallow Reefs mining is going to really go in with this. They've been really working the investment markets, and they find an enthusiasm to come into South Africa because they describe, you know, the investment required as probably the lowest investment on the planet, because they will be mining. They're not going to be building gold plants because there's so much surplus gold plant capacity nearby that they can use that. You know, they're not going to be building tailings dams because already the existing gatherers of tailings want those tailings. So, you know, they've got so much out of the way, and they've got some very good people on the board. So I'm very hopeful that we will see some good ounces coming out of our Wits Gold Basin, which has been ignored for so long because it has been looked through the lens of the big mines. But now, if you find a 1 million ounce plus ore body, you know, it is worthwhile to go for it, as we see happens all around the world. And at last, that mentality of, you know, junior and mid-sized activity is coming into it, which will be great for the economy. And I'm sure there are going to be a lot more opportunities. This is mainly across the, you know, the Wits Basin, east and west. But there's also one asset that they're really keen on in the Barberton Pilgrim's Rest area.
And Martin, can you tell us about South Africa being on the verge of a breakthrough in hydrogen?
You know, this was a great interview with the new president of the Southern African Institute of Mining and Metallurgy, Isabel Geldenhuys, who's a highly knowledgeable person, you know, on the issues of metallurgy. And she has created a lot of activity in the ferrochrome activity, and she's worked a lot in that. But also she's looking at the potential for hydrogen and the hydrogen economy. And she, through her lens, she sees some very nice hydrogen breakthroughs on the horizon. And it'll all begin, you know, with Anglo in this second quarter that we're in already. Before the end of this second half, we will see Anglo introduce a hydrogen-powered truck. And I think that is going to spread like topsy when they get that right. When they're using the green hydrogen, they're bringing in the renewable energy, and they're driving their vehicles at Limpopo's mine they've got, you know, with green hydrogen. They are going to attract global attention. And I think with a click of a finger, you're going to see that spreading. And that'll be the start of what Isabel Geldenhuys sees there's some nice breakthroughs coming in the area of green hydrogen, which is really sweeping the world as a new energy means. People don't have to rely on a set place in the world to get their oil and gas. They can actually produce on site. Many of these mines, I don't think there's any argument. They'll be able to produce their own energy source in the form of green hydrogen on site, and they'll be able to use it to have mobility and electricity generation in general, their needs. And this is going to change the actual carbon footprint, which is so important at the moment, and also give spurt to a new economy, which is job creating and which is wealth creating. So it'll be great for South Africa.
Lastly, Martin, can you tell us about Goldfields South Deep Gold Mine, which is on a positive trajectory?
That South Deep Gold Mine, I've been going down there for many, many decades. The old JCI, launched it, and it's gone through many hands, but it's in the hands of Goldfields. And this is a huge ore body. I mean, this will go on for another 50 years. And it's been in a state of slumber because it's not the same as we used to. We used to these reefs that are narrow, that, you have to get down on your haunches and get under there. And it's often not very comfortable. When you go into South Deep, I mean, the ore bodies are so big. You hear people saying you could drive around this mine in a double-decker bus, and still have room for a roof rack. I mean, that's how it seems when you go there. This place is big, but because the ore body has been so big, we're not used to mining it. We're not used to this bulk mining with gold at deep level. So it has taken a long time, and there have been a lot of losses. This giant mine, this is by reserve the third biggest gold mine in the world, is now coming out of its slumber. You can see better productivity. You can see cash being generated. And at the same time, we've got a good gold price. So the trajectory is excellent. And instead of saying this is the kid that's not performing for Goldfields, the problem kid, this problem kid is coming out of that, and it's getting to be a sort of a conforming teenager, and it's moving on. And we know that this is going to go on for a long time. They've often said these are the people that will switch the lights off, at Johannesburg Airport, because this thing is going to go on for so long. It's such a big mine. So it's so important that it's right in Gauteng, the place of gold. You've got this. So we see gold activity starting to show a lot more promise in this area. And South Deep, I mean, the promise there is huge. And you can see that smiles are starting to come on the faces of the Goldfields top brass, and particularly, the new CEO, Chris Griffith. He has, through COVID, not being able to go to many of the other mines, but he's been able to go to South Deep. And you can see him nodding, and you can see that his confidence is there, that this trajectory could well continue. The people know how to mine this. And as they mine it more and more, this very big ore body, they will get better and better. So hopefully at some stage, we'll reach global benchmarks on the production of gold from South Deep.
Thanks for speaking with us, Martin.
Great pleasure, Sashni.
That's it for today. Join us again next week for more news analysis on the local and global mining industries. And don't forget to listen to the audio version of our Mining Weekly daily email newsletter.